The Last Supper is celebrated this evening basically in the way in which it was described as having taken place. So as we proceed through the communion, you'll be invited to come forward and stand around on the ground floor around the chancel area, and I shall come and give you the bread. The bread is really the matzos of the Passover bread. Simply hold your hand like so, if you wish, if you're able, and I'll drop the bread into it. And then when I bring in the wine, you take the goblet, the wine, from the tray and drink it as I pass you by. And then the wine glass will be collected as we go along. At the end of the service, we sing the hymn, as was the tradition, and then we simply leave as quietly as we can, remembering the sacred aspect of this night as it leads into tomorrow. Friedrich Nietzsche, philosopher, once said, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." The statement has been encouraging and inspiring to people experiencing difficult times. But as we look at the statement more closely, you realise that it is not always true. There are diseases and disablements that affect us. They do not kill us, but they certainly don't make us stronger. They make us weaker, undermine our strengths, and throw us into an existence where we are pervasively weaker. For the Nietzsche statement to be sustained, certain other factors must be present. Perhaps we might say courage, determination, or a good coherence to the self. And there must also be some strong connections with the energy of life, with the life force, with determination, with all that goes with endurance. So that the Last Supper itself does not stand on its own as one event that once occurred. The Last Supper has itself strong psychological, theological, existential connections. Over the centuries, it has been overloaded with many interpretations. If we return to the basic life experience of the Last Supper itself, we would see some of its vital connections. There was the connection with a safe place. It took place in a safe place. And all of us require our safe places. They might be our physical safe places. They might be our emotional and psychological safe places. But we all need a safe place. A place where we can perhaps be on our own. A place where we can feel that we are able to think for ourselves or think about what life is about. But we need a safe place to be able to be there. So we all look for a connection with a safe place somewhere. In the world at large, we know that many people do not have a safe place. Perhaps we'll never have a safe place. Every place is an anxious place. But we all look via our faith to say, if only we could create safe places. The second thing is we all look for a connection with those who are present. So in the Last Supper, where Jesus was speaking to the disciples, he was present to them, and of course he was expecting that they would be present to him. Present so that we could have a real conversation. If we're going to be present to someone, we're looking for that real conversation. If we're not present, a real conversation doesn't take place. We're always looking in a different direction. we're always talking out of both sides of our mouth. There's always an ambiguity in our conversation. But if we're really present, and then we have to say, well, what will I bring to those present? Here in the sacrament, he was bringing something, reminding them, being present is to be authentic. Being present is to be generous. Being present is to be a participant in a good conversation about the present and perhaps also about what we'll be in the future. So that's the second connection it brings us to. The third is the connection with the past. Here, undoubtedly, he was connecting those disciples with things that have happened before. The covenant made in the times of Moses. The promise. A connection with faith of the past. Connection with where they'd come from, both in terms of their physical movement, but also in terms of their faith movement. A connection with their own identity. This is who they are, or who they'd like to be. A connection with a ritual of both the past, but coming alive in the present. The past can be where we do most of our living, if we're not careful. In fact, we might remain stuck in the past, or wanting to return to the past. Many stay there because that's where they feel they were most comfortable. So they return to the past, or they keep bringing up the past. And there's a connection there, but then we need to be free from the past, letting the past then enrich our lives rather than imprison or enslave our lives. So the connection is very important. The past is there, but the connection with the past that is going to let us go into the future. And so that's the next part of our connection, is a connection with the future, because that's what he was talking about as he broke the bread and gave the wine. He looked to the future. We don't want to be cut adrift without knowing that there will be a future. We want our future to fashion who and what we will be. What is that future? The future needs to be there to form our identity, who we're going to be. So try living in the present in ways that your future happiness will always remember pleasantly. And then the fifth connection is the connection with something deeper within ourselves, with a spirit of caring, a spirit of compassion, a spirit of communion, a spirit of courage. We live in a world where violence can erupt at any time, and fear can be specific or it can be pervasive. But for all that, we look for strength in the inner spirit that helps us to believe in a better day, helps us to believe that we do have another level of resources to help us cope. So we all search to go forward, of course, but we need our connections. A safe place with the past, with the present, with the future, and with that deeper strengthening spirit. So it carries its message, this sacrament. Behind the outward enactment, it carries a message. It says, you may feel you are alone, but you're not alone. You can find in the present people who will be genuinely present. We all know that the past can be very damaging, but we also know that the past can be very enriching. There are things in the future that can frighten us, but the future can also call us forward to fulfill all that we're able to be and become. It says we can be connected with a deeper spirit, where we are indeed made stronger.